It's time for Real Talk with Brian and Dan, the weekly talk radio show dedicated to discussing important real estate topics, plus insight into the local community. With a combined experience of over 50 years as local real estate brokers from the East Side Real Estate Team at Keller Williams Realty Bellevue. Here's your hosts, Brian Levitt and Dan Edwards.
Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW. It is Wednesday, August 14th, 2019. Thank you for joining us today. Thanks for being a listener. Now, if you'd like to listen to any of our past podcasts, you can listen, or radio shows, you can listen to them anywhere podcasts are found. Just Google Real Talk with Brian and Dan, and you will find us. And we hope you subscribe and you enjoy our great information. Brian, we got another great show today. Very excited to talk to our two guests, Paul LaRose with Olive Crest and Crystal Stevenson from Diamond Cut Insurance. But before we get to our guests, as you know, it's time for some Real Talk.
Last week, we talked about 3 questions you need to ask yourself before buying a home. This week, we're going to give you 5 tips, that's right, 5, on starting the search for your dream home. It can often be frustrating to be a first-time home buyer if you aren't prepared. Today, we will highlight some steps that first-time home buyers can take to help carry their excitement of buying a home throughout the whole process.
I like how they say that, excitement, right?
Excitement.
It's nervous,
It is
right?
exciting.
It
Yeah.
is, absolutely. One way that you can show you're serious about buying a dream home is to get pre-qualified, but really to get pre-approved.
Better yet, pre-approved.
Yeah,
Yep.
for a mortgage before you start your search. Even in a market that is not as competitive, understanding your budget is why you get pre-approved, not just to be prepared, but to understand how much you can spend, because you then will have okay, just saying, we'll have the confidence of knowing whether or not the dream home is where you qualify. This step will help you narrow the search based on your budget, and it won't leave you disappointed. So get your home tour. You know, how many times has that happened with us? Probably not that often. But a lot of times people lead their home search by searching at homes, looking at wonderful homes.
Right.
And then they get ready to go get pre-approved. Turns out they can't
And they're
quite
crushed.
afford. Yeah.
They can't get what they want.
Yeah, it's
Right.
tough. So definitely start your home buying process by getting pre-approved.
Yep. Another tip we have is to know the difference between your must-haves and your want-to-haves. Do you really need that farmhouse sink in the kitchen?
I needed the farmhouse
I know.
sink. Yeah.
I know the whole story on that one. Yeah. So sitting down and writing a list of what I call the want-to-haves and the gotta-haves, and the gotta-haves are non-negotiables. I mean, example is a 3-bedroom. We're not going to look at 2 bedrooms; they don't work.
Right.
But another big aspect of that is recognizing the difference between what you can change and what you can't.
Right.
Because, example, if the farmhouse sink is a gotta-have, we can put one in.
Yeah. Well, and that's a key point, too, is when you look at the make or break, the wants or needs, I always insist that husband and wife or Mr. and Mrs. or partner and partner sit down and fill out their forms separately. Not together, but separately. And then you take that form and you look at the must-haves and see where's the overlap and then where's the marriage counseling have to start.
Well, one of the exercises that we'll do sometimes is, I call it the M&M game. We take in those lists, and then I give them a fixed number of M&Ms that is less than the total amount needed to get everything they want.
Yep.
And they place the M&Ms where they want them. And the good news is when you're done, you get to eat the
I was going to say, I never get to the end because I eat the
M&Ms. It's a budgeting exercise, to really say, okay, what are the priorities?
Yeah. Bedrooms, bathrooms, and also, too, whenever I talk to folks, they'll say, I want a big yard. Well, what's your definition of a big yard?
Yeah.
Because my definition of a big yard may be 6 acres. Your definition of a big yard may be
7,500
square feet.
Yeah.
It depends on where you came from.
Yeah.
So another important tip in getting ready is to research the neighborhood you're looking for. I got to say, I didn't do this on my own for when we ended up purchasing our home, but I got to say we couldn't have researched better. Thanks to friends who did the research before we did. We're in the southwest corner of the Sammamish city of Sammamish Plateau, and it's easy on and off. And as the growth of the city has gotten, caused a lot of people uproar over traffic, we're on and off pretty easy. So research the area, test drive. Go there early in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mentioned in a previous show some of the tools we have now that we didn't have years ago, including drive time calculators, where you can say, okay, where do you work, where do you want to live, and how many minutes do you want that drive to be, which opens up whole different possibilities in terms of neighborhoods. But I'm finding, especially with my millennial buyers, they're using drive time calculations to pick neighborhoods.
Yeah, because what the old adage is, time is money. And so you can't get that time back. And
Right.
And a lot of people will say, well, okay, they're coming from, say, Southern California, where it's absolutely positively got to be under 45 minutes one way.
Right.
Like that,
Yeah.
like, oh,
I remember,
great, that's a lot of places.
I'll
here.
get a 2-hour commute now. This is San Jose, family moving up from San Jose.
Yeah.
2-hour commute, I'd like to keep it an hour and a half. Oh, so Eastern Washington works for you.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
you can commute from Cle Elum
yeah,
for that, right?
That's right.
Oh,
Right.
geez.
So another tip we have is to pick a house style you love and stick to it. Evaluate your family's needs and settle on a style of home that would best serve those needs. Just because you've narrowed your search to a zip code doesn't mean you need to tour every listing in that zip code. An example from a Realtor.com article says, if you have several younger kids and don't want your bedroom on a different level, steer clear of Cape Cod-style homes, which typically feature 2 or more bedrooms on the upper level and a master on the main.
Oh, interesting.
So age of your family can make a big difference. I have some families that, a split level on the east side, there were a ton of split levels.
Tons.
Built in the 70s, late 60s, early 70s was the premier time. It's the most house for the money, but the plan doesn't work for everybody.
Right.
But it's the biggest bang for the buck and a really easy structure to maintain.
I had a buyer say, I don't want to see any split levels. So we actually had to eliminate them from our search.
Right.
Because I asked him, I said, why? I don't understand. I mean, I want you to buy what you want to buy, but I don't understand. He said, I don't like walking in and then having to decide
Walking on the
something.
stairs. Yeah.
I had to decide
that's
something.
right.
Do I go up or down?
Yeah.
So
the most common plan is a 2-story, but that's partially because that's where the profit line is for the builders. They make more money on that floor plan.
Well, the last one is it's very important to document your home visits. A lot of times you can get out there and see a lot of different homes, and you kind of forget. They blend together, so you should just take a checklist, take a clipboard with you, and write some notes. And I always encourage my buyers to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 as we go throughout the tour. So I think take photos of things that you think are important.
In a high-paced, competitive environment, any advantage you can give yourself will help you on the path of buying your dream home. Contact us today if you're looking for more information on finding the home that is perfect for you. We'll be right back after the break.
Yeah, great Real Talk segment.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Not sure if now is the right time to sell? Worried you missed the market? The Eastside Real Estate Team specializes in helping homeowners maximize their equity when selling. With our proven premier listing service, our clients have sold their homes for more money in less time than the competition. We know you have many choices when working with a real estate agent, but with the Eastside Real Estate Team, you get a team of highly qualified, experienced agents. From staging to deciding if your property is market ready for top dollar. If you're considering selling, call the Eastside Real Estate Team at 425-200-4093. Or check out our website at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Find our app in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and take us with you wherever you go. Alternative Talk AM 1150.
Welcome back to the show. You're listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan. It's now time for our very popular Mortgage Moment segment. During this segment, we get a quick update on the lending side of the home buying process. Today, we're talking again with Michael Burdick, our loan consultant with Loan Depot. And as you know, Michael has spent the last 10 years serving borrowers at a very high level. Today, we will be talking about quotes and how a consumer knows if they are getting a good deal. Welcome back to the show, Michael.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Doing good. It's a beautiful day. Hey,
absolutely.
What should a consumer compare on their quotes between lenders? Let's say they're shopping you against somebody else. Give us some coaching on what they should look at.
So, and in our industry, it's always good to shop around, make sure you're getting a good deal. And I always talk to people and say, the first one you've looked at, have you gone to your bank? And it's my job just to kind of help them figure out what they're comparing, because a mortgage quote can be a little overwhelming because there's a lot on it, but really there's a specific few areas that you want to be comparing, and that's the company's fees. So what are their lender fees? And then that goes into the origination, and then the interest rate you're getting and what you're paying for that rate. So there's a section that we can review that information. The other stuff on there is going to be the same no matter what company you choose, whether it's me credit union, a bank, because those are taxes, third-party fees. So
if we go back,
Yeah.
Michael, if we go back to that, you said the company fee or lender fee or points. Are they all the
Correct.
same, or are these all different?
So those can fluctuate a little bit, and the biggest one are the points and the cost you're paying for that rate. So that depends on everyone's personal situation. If they're thinking they want to live in this house for 30 years, they might want to pay some points, but then you're going to want to make sure that the lender you're comparing against isn't charging you more points for a particular rate, and that you're getting a good deal on that.
Yeah, because my understanding is all the banks are getting their money from the same place, so you're really competing on those other fees. If I'm understanding this correctly,
that's a portion of it. But then you got to look at there's lots of ways that companies cut overhead and just cut expenses. So a guy that's across the country in a call center that does 30 loans per month, that works 9 to 5 in a different time zone, he might be able to give a better rate than I can give, but they're going to have a different experience working with somebody
different
like
service
that.
level. Yeah.
So along the lines
Exactly.
of the different parts, you mentioned that being that local in that proposition, that's part of your value proposition. Kind of unpack that again.
It is, and I just mentioned, got into that a little bit, but, I get lots of clients that, everybody has their iPhone or their smartphone, and they can be on the internet at any time, and they'll see teaser rates online and things like that, or, hear it on the radio or anything, like we're on the radio right now. But,
right.
But a lot of those are teaser rates, and it's companies put those out there just so their phone starts ringing, and then just a select few people are going to qualify for that. So it's my job just to kind of unfold that and explain, the value of going with somebody local and getting the job done quickly, smoothly, as painless as possible. Especially in buying a home, it can be stressful for people. So, if they're working with a lender that their realtor has no relationship with, that they haven't vetted, that they're just chasing that good rate, it could go backwards on them real quick.
Interesting.
So let me go back to our first one, because we talked about points and rate, right? That's generally where all the money moves around between lender to lender, is between points and rates. But I've seen quotes handed to people with artificially low title, escrow, and doc fees. And I think that it's important as a consumer, when you're reviewing and comparing, that you almost omit those things, because those things are going to be static based on your
third-party fees.
Yeah, they're not the lender fees. So I just wanted to highlight that we were talking about how do you compare. Well, there are items that one lender may put in front of you, $400 escrow fee versus $1,000 escrow fee. Well, that escrow fee is going to be your cost no matter what, so you should omit those in your comparison. Would you agree?
Absolutely. That's a
Leading
very
the
good
witness.
point. And appraisal is another one, just like that.
Right.
I've seen lenders in other markets that are in a different state that can get away with charging a $400 appraisal. But if you tried to put that in front of an appraiser in King County right now, they're not going to accept it. So, there are the fees to review, and the other ones, you're going to know that they're going to be the same no matter what company you go with.
There we go.
Yeah.
So, Michael, we got to wrap up. Really appreciate you being here. How do our listeners reach you?
So I'm local in Bellevue. You can find me online. Just Google Michael Burdick with Loan Depot. And my number is 206-661-2289. And I'd love to hear from anybody out there.
Excellent. After our break, we'll be talking to our guest for the week. First up will be Paul LaRose with Olive Crest, who will be giving us insight on the foster care crisis. Join us right after the break. And Michael, once again, thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, guys.
Did you know when you pay rent, you're actually paying someone else's mortgage? Are you tired of missing out on owning your own home? Fact: homeowners on average have 40 times the financial net worth of renters. The Eastside Real Estate Team has been helping many first-time homebuyers find and buy their first home. They specialize in customer service and put you first. They listen first to what you're looking for, and then they take the time to make sure their clients understand every aspect of the home buying process. If owning a home has been your dream, the Eastside Real Estate Team can help you. For a free, no-hassle consultation, call 425-200-4093. or find them online at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Get your daily dose of variety. Alternative Talk 1150.